welcome to the Bender Bunker, your one-stop shop for B-Bender guitar-related videos and our first offering of the 2019 New Year. So happy New Year to you and yours from the Bender Bunker. We took a long vacation hiatus to recharge the Bender batteries, if you will, and I think we've done that. A lot of exciting new lessons planned for the new year ahead. We're going to be doing some more of the Marty Stewart stuff that was we ended the year with. That seemed to got a good response as expected because Marty's the man. So we're going to do some Marty here in the near future, but right now we're going to start off with what we're calling the TwoFer. And you get two bendy licks in G for the price of none. So it's a TwoFer. You can't beat that with a polyurethane ash-covered stick. So as the polar vortex descends on much of this great land of ours here, and a lot of the viewers here in the upper regions, Midwest, and the northern part of the United States here are dealing with some of the coldest temperatures in decades. We're trying to come up with some hot Bender licks to help keep you on the warm side. Now, hopefully that's what we've done. Things aren't too bad here in Central Texas, but as you can see, I did have to go find a sweater. So we're here in sweater weather. But just to give you a little sampling of what we're about to get in with these TwoFer licks, we're in G, as I mentioned. And the first one's very standard. It's got one of the standard kind of openings we went over with what we call the big three lessons, your big three pedal steel openings. We kind of start off with that and we go like this. That's just kind of a good primer to get us back in the B-Bender frame of mind here in 2019. And then the second lick is kind of down here in the traditional G area, open G area. But it's kind of fun because using the Bender, as some of the strings go down in pitch, the G string is going to be going up in pitch at the same time. So you're going to kind of get this sound. For some hot B-Bender licks on a cold day here in February 2019, you know what to do. Go grab that Bender and meet me on the other side of the fake because we're going to get right on it. Well, all right. I see you've decided to stick around for our first B-Bender lick lesson of 2019 here in the bunker. And so this will be the first time we'll be moving up this year for the hot fretboard action. And we're going to start with the main riff, a very traditional B-Bender opening little riff. That's all it is, nothing more than that. And what that is we're going to make our traditional, what we always called here since the beginning of the lessons, the twang box shape for G. So your index finger is barring the top two on the 10th, your little finger is falling into the 3rd string on the 12th, and your ring finger is the 4th string on the 12th. That is what we call the twang box for G. All right. So let's start on the 4th string 12th fret. That's with our ring finger. We're going to pick it, slide it down to the 11th and back up to the 12th. When it gets there, we're going to go ahead and hit the next string up, your 3rd string 12th, with your little finger. And then go back to the 12th with your ring finger. So we've got this now. Now, next thing we're going to do, remember we've got the top two barred with our index finger on the 10th. We're going to hit the 2nd string, your B string. Then we're going to go back and hit the 3rd string on the 12th, still covered by your little finger. So now we've got this. Okay, so now we're ready to do a little B bending. We're going to go back to the B string on the 10th. We haven't moved our index finger, so it's still barring the top two on the 10th. We're going to go ahead and hit that and engage the bender fully. When we get to the top of the bend, we're going to go ahead and hit the high E, still covered on the 10th. So now I've got that whole riff. Just work on that, get it nice and fluid. All right, so there we are. We've got the Bender fully engaged. We just hit that high E 10th in that phrase. It's ringing a little bit. We're going to let the Bender down now, and we're going to pop up to the 15th fret with our little finger. We're going to cover the top two strings on the 15th fret with our little finger. And when we get there, remember, we've just let the Bender down. So now what we're going to do is when we get there and cover those top two with our little finger, we're going to go ahead and hit the B string first, fully engage the Bender, and then hit the high E after. Right? Sort of like that rhythm. So you're kind of bouncing from here. Okay, so we've just done that. Now the bender's fully engaged, which is what we want. So now as it's fully engaged, we just hit that high E on the 15th. We're going to drop down, replace the index finger back where it was, top 2 strings on the 10th. We're going to start with the high E, and then hit the B string, letting it down on the bender. And then finally ending the phrase with our middle finger, G string 12. That's the whole phrase. Yeehaw. Now, the next thing we're going to do is this. So we're dropping down here. It's going to be the top 2 strings we're playing with this time. And so what we're doing is index finger is going to the B string on the 6th. We're going to hit that. It's not bent yet, but we're going to strike the note and then go on a kind of the slower bend on this one. Draw it out a little bit, but fully bend it. And when you get to the top of your bend, go ahead and drop into the high E on the 7th fret. You can use your middle or your ring, whatever's more comfortable for you. Now the bender's fully engaged, so much like we did before up there, we're going to drop down, cover the top 2 with our index finger on the 3rd. Hit the high E 3rd first, hit the B, let it down. So now I've gone. So for context, so again, man, that B string on the 6 is the one I kind of draw out on that sequence. Everything else is pretty quick. Alright, so there we are. We've just let the bender down, index fingers on the top 2 strings on the 3rd. We're going to go ahead and replace the index finger on the 2nd string 3rd with our ring finger, and that allows our index finger to fall where it needs to be on the 3rd string 2nd fret. So we're doing, we just came down on that, quickly switching over to that. Now my ring finger's taking the place on the 3rd B string. I'm hitting that note. Index finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret, giving it just a little bit of a whack. And then ultimately ending up with the G string open after I do that 2nd fret there on the 3rd. So there we are, coming down on the bender, switching the fingers up. Together. I guess when an opening sequence I did this. So what I'm doing there is, and then what I'm doing is I'm hitting the 4th string open, but quickly going with my index finger to the 2nd fret, and then I hit the G string open. G chord. The first lick. Let's play it with the backing track real quick. Lick number 1 of the TwoFer. I'll be right back with lick number 2. Stand by. Well, all right, let's dive in to number 2 of the TwoFer lick here in the Bender Bunker. And this is a fun one. Like I mentioned at the beginning, you've got 2 different pitches going in opposite directions. Thanks to the magic of the B bender. Sounds something along the lines of... Now let's dive into that. Not too tricky, just fun to play. We're going to start this one with our little finger on the top 2 strings on the 3rd. So go ahead and bend the top, cover the top 2 with your little finger there on the 3rd fret. And then what we're going to do is we're going to down pick starting with an open G string. So you've got the top 2 covered, but you've got an open G string there on your 3rd. So we're going to down pick starting with the open G string. But as we down pick, we're going to fully engage the bender. So it sounds more like, and do it kind of quick too. we've just down picked 3. We've got the bender fully engaged with the top end of that bend. Now's the time to start thinking about how we're going to get back. We're going to up pick our way back. So now we're starting with the top E string and we're going to up pick the top 3, 1, 2, 3 back. But as we start the up pick, that's the time to drop your index finger down to the 3rd string 2nd fret. So that when the up pick gets to the 3rd string, you've already got the index finger in place on that 2nd fret on the 3rd string to make that note. And as you come back on the up pick and you've got that 2nd fret, 3rd string being noted, that's when you want to take your index finger and start bending it up. So as the bender's coming down so again, we're going down picking 3 with the bender, and then up picking back with the bender coming back. So it's actually following the pick. Down with the pick, up with the bender, up pick with the pick, down with the bender. So think of it that way. So as we come back, that's when we've got our index finger dropping down there and then bending up. So we've got the bender coming down in pitch, but we're manually taking the pitch up on the 3rd string 2nd fret with our index finger, so they're both going simultaneously. A lonesome train indeed. So just practice that for a minute. Now, you're going to want to, the ear's going to be tricky things because you got the pitches going in 2 different directions and you're like trying to get them perfect. Keep in mind, you're going to be playing this at a faster tempo. So yeah, do it slow, make sure you got the concept, but it's easier to do when you're going a little bit faster. It sounds better. Like that. So practice that 3 down, 3 up. Right, so then we're going to the next part of this riff. So remember we came down, we're up picking, we've got the bender down, we're bending up on the 3rd string, 2nd fret with our index finger. We've left it up there fully bent. Right, still bent. What we're going to do now is go back up to the high E 3rd, still covered. Hit that high E 3rd, come back and hit the G string 2nd so you can let that bend down. And then G string open. And that's that whole first sequence. Just practice that till you get that right where it needs to be. Okay. Now the next part is going to be this. And that first part is really a standard twang lick, non-bender twang lick for G. Right? So what that is your middle finger on the 3rd string going up to the 4th fret, and then the high E with your index finger on the 3rd fret. Okay? Now as you do that sequence, as you're sliding up with your middle finger to the 4th fret, that's the time that you're going to also want to silently engage the bender fully, because you're going to need it pretty quick once you do these 2 notes. So the sliding up on that G string with your middle finger, that's my key mentally to start bending as well. The 2 happen at the same time for me. Bender's fully engaged. So now we're going to let our index finger off the high E 3rd. We're going to do a high E open. Now the index finger pops over to the B string 3rd fret and then hits it and lets the bender down. And the 2 ring together. The high E open and then the B string 3rd fret with the bender coming down are ringing together, and that's what sounds nice for this lick. Alright, the bender's unengaged. We just got our index finger right there, 2nd string 3rd fret. We're going to go ahead and let that index finger go down to the 1st fret on the same string. When we get there, we're going to pick it and take the bender all the way up. When we get to the top of the bend, we're going to drop our little finger, high E 3rd. So it's... So all together, this riff. tempo. So there we are. We've got the bender engaged. We've got those two notes, second string, first fret, high E third, ringing together. We're gonna let our middle finger go over to the third string, second fret, note that, and go 2 waggles on it. So we're, and then the G string open to end that. You can start letting that bender then. Once you do that, you can start letting that bender down in the background. It's not making much noise and it's time to let it go. All right, so here's the whole riff. And then we end up here back in the G twang box, kind of like where we started the very first of the TwoFer. Just a very standard twang box, G, B bender lick, but darn, it sounds nice. All right, so what we're doing this is, that's what we're starting with. So we've got our index finger. When we come out of this, next thing we do is our index finger is going to slide up to where it usually is for G, which is the top 2 on the 10th. That allows our little finger to be on the high E 12th. And then once we get that position ready to go, I'm starting on my third string, and I'm going 3 down, 1 to 3, right? 3 down pick, pretty quick. They're dead though. I'm dead and I'm not noting anything. I'm doing dead notes. So it's 3 dead and down. When I get to the end of that sequence, I'm coming back up and I'm hitting that high E 12th with that little finger, and that's the live note. So it's 3 dead down, 1 live up on the high E 12th. That's all that is. Again, I'm coming back up pick on that high E 12th. Now as I do that, my mental note to myself is I'm going 3 dead down. When I'm coming back up for that live note, that's when I need the bender engaged, because I'm going to need it pretty quick after that. So as I go down with the 3 dead, I'm actually kind of also getting the bender ready with those 3 dead, so they're kind of together. So the bender's engaged, I'm not using it yet, but it's ready to go. So when I come back, hit that high E 12th, my little finger, then I let that go. I've got the index on the top 2 on the 10th, so it's high E 10. Next string 10, let the bender down. And in this case, we've got our ring finger on the third string 12th to end it. Again, a very standard B bender lick for G, but you know what? I started to come up with other maybe more complex or different variations, because that is a pretty standard lick, but then I realized, you know, that's why they call it a standard, because it just sounds good, so that's what we're going with. And that ends it. So all together, we kind of do this. And that's it. That is the second lick of the TwoFer. And that concludes our first B-Bender lesson here of 2019 here in the Bender Bunker. This is usually the time where I tell you, if you got anything out of this, you enjoyed it, you like my hat, whatever it is, hit the like button. If you haven't shared this with other B-Bender friends, and why not, go ahead and use that share button right now while you're thinking about it. And if you have not yet subscribed to the Bender Bunker to keep abreast of everything that we do here, might be a good time to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And that's about it, my friends. If you'd like to, of course, as always, buy the Bender Bunker virtual beer, because we do get quite thirsty with these lessons. Easy to do. As you'll see below this video, it's got our main title of our channel, the Bender Bunker. Hit that. You'll go to our main YouTube page. In the banner in the upper right, donate, send beer money. If you got a PayPal account, send it on over. We will drink it. I think the last person who did was Luke in Ohio, and I'm very appreciative. Thank you, Luke, for that. It was very tasty. So that's it. So I get to say our motto, our channel motto here for the first time in 2019. Say it with me if you know it. It is never too late to go on a bender, and I hope you do. And I will see you next time. Let's tell you what, let's fire up the backing track, try and play these two TwoFer licks, and get on out of here. See you next time.